Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Saira Hansen, your coaching hypnotherapist. Today I want to share a little bit more personally about some of the things I've tried along my journey that have really helped me. I've spoken before a little bit about how when I was young I struggled with severe depression and anxiety, and I tried almost everything to help me overcome and work through what I was going through. So today I want to highlight the 5 main things that changed my life. This is specifically more so around like healing pain, gaining control over my mental health, and overcoming my, limiting and negative beliefs that I had about myself that were holding me back. Number 1 is energy work or energy healing. I know it's a very broad term, as there are obviously a lot of different types and styles and forms. Probably most commonly known is like Reiki or healing touch. So when I was 18, I saw this amazing energy healer named Maria, who I honestly think she was paid by donation at the time, and she had the most lovely presence, and she really taught me just like how amazingly powerful that intuitive energy healing, working with the energy body, is just so impactful. So since then I've worked with like many others, and I've studied different forms. I myself am trained in something called heart resonance therapy, which is just another form, another style of basically, shifting or healing or transforming, one's energy. But what makes this, work so great is that basically, we go to a massage therapist, some of us might, to, help our physical body. So if we think of like our energy body similarly, because honestly, the two are super linked, right? Like when we have stress or we're carrying any emotional pain, often it shows up in our physical body as well. Maybe that's through, pain or discomfort or even illness. So that's why it's really important to clear it out, right? And another thing is trauma. When we have any kind of trauma, it also lives in our body. It lives in our tissues. Our bodies have a cellular memory of that experience or circumstance or something that's happened. So whether it be physical trauma or emotional trauma, and even if we've, worked through that on a mental level, it can still live in our body without even realizing it and have it affect us, years down the road, sort of thing. So that's why it's so important to actually clear out that part of ourselves. And lastly, the other important piece is, as an empath, we not only, carry our own energy, but we feel and carry others' stress and pain and energy as well. So it's just as important to not only clear out our own stuck energy or just energy that's there, but also the energy that we carry from others. So basically, our physical and energy bodies are almost the same. I mean, they're not, they're different, but they are the same in that we should consider taking care of both for our overall health and well-being. Number 2 is hypnotherapy, obviously. So shortly after I was working with Maria, I met my first hypnotherapist when everything changed, because that's when I could actually start getting to the root of my issues and heal trauma and pain and just change my negative beliefs that I had about myself that were honestly impacting my everyday life. Because our subconscious mind has so much wisdom, so if we try to solve everything with just our conscious mind only, we're just very limited, because it doesn't have all that information within it. Our subconscious mind's only 5% of our mind, right? Our subconscious, 95%, carries all our memories, beliefs, values. That's where everything is stored. So the root of something is there, because we can't, with our conscious mind, always know why we have a certain belief. Where does it stem from, right? So when we do hypnosis, we go into this beautiful trance, and we can tap into all that information, all that wisdom, and heal from like a big picture perspective, which is why it actually is so much faster and easier, because from that like big picture perspective, healing is a lot easier. We can forgive a lot easier because we understand why things happen. Not to mention, with hypnotherapy, you can also then train your mind for new positive habits, positive beliefs, things that now can serve you moving forward in your life, and as well tap into like your true potential, because I promise you, we are way more powerful than we realize. Number 3 is coaching. Yes, it's true. I mean, honestly, I even myself years ago did not understand like what made life coaching so special. Like I just didn't get it. Having said that, I was always kind of intrigued by it. I was like, what is it that I don't know? That I've studied so many different things. And anyway, so naturally I was drawn to, learn more about it, worked with a bunch of coaches, intuitive coaches, business coaches, you name it. And holy moly, it's so powerful, these tools and techniques. So here are like a few major takeaways. Number 1 is it was so powerful having a coach there seeing like my blind spots, because we all have blind spots, even when we're super aware. We all have them. And so having somebody there to show you them, but in a loving, compassionate, like unbiased way is really helpful, And number 2, having that person courageously stand for your dreams, even when you are like doubting everything and can't see your way through that tunnel. They are there, they can see it, and they can help guide you and hold you accountable to keep going so that you don't give up. And number 3, learning to shift your perspective and take ownership and responsibility for how you feel and the actions you take in your life, the results you get in your life, is pretty major. I think that is like our major downfall as humans, is that we give up our control by giving up our responsibility so easily. We often end up making things about a circumstance or an event that happened to us, instead of understanding that technically we get to choose how we respond and react to everything that happens in our life, whether it be good or bad. Because again, good or bad, what does that mean? Everyone has a different perspective, and what one person thinks is good may not be good to somebody else, and vice versa. So once we realize like we have all that control, we can choose how we respond and react, that's what brings us to emotional maturity, or like what I like to call mindset mastery. Because you master your mind, you master your life, truly. That is how the doors open up. When we understand our perspective, understand that we control our thoughts, emotions, actions, results, we can make so many wonderful things happen. And you learn so much of this, embody so much of this through coaching and hypnotherapy especially. Number 4 is gratitude, which I know maybe gets talked about a lot, but probably needs to be talked about constantly so that we can remind ourselves to stay in that place. So for me, I do a daily gratitude practice. I started about over 6 years ago now. I'm on day 2,329, and I write down at least three things that I'm grateful for each day in a journal. Because honestly, even on the hardest days, you still find something to be grateful for, and that's pretty awesome. And obviously, it's usually more than 3 things. I just chose 3 as like my must-have. It's so important to shift our perspective from that like victim mentality, which like, we all go there here and there, whether we like to admit it or not. I certainly did, especially back when I was in my darkest days. I would say things like, nothing good ever happens to me, stuff like that, which isn't true, right? When we can kind of get caught up in those moments. And so it's really important to remind ourselves every single day. The other piece to this is that all emotions carry a frequency, like an energy, and gratitude is one of the highest frequencies. So you can't actually be in gratitude and be in sadness or despair. Like the two can't coexist at the same time. So when I started to like officially recognize and acknowledge the gratitude daily, it just shifted things for me so much. Another piece to this, which is like kind of hard to describe, but I feel like it helped me see the beauty in the world as well. Like I grew up on a farm, so I've always thought like nature and all these things were really beautiful, but it's like I couldn't fully see it or appreciate it until I started this practice where you just notice things differently. I like to think of it almost like I'm walk through the world with eyes of wonder, or like I'm an alien from another planet when you see things, the real beauty that exists around us. even on the cloudy days, even on the dark days, it's still there. And I think that gratitude and recognizing beauty in the world honestly is like a healing practice in and of itself. But they are huge state changers. Being in those things are able to shift us out of, overwhelm or stress or sadness. Because like I say, you can't be in one and the other at the same time. So I just think those are really great tools for us to embody. And last but not least, number 5 is mantra meditation. So I've always loved singing, and we know that, studies have shown that singing has really healing and beneficial effects on us. And it's another really great way to release stuck energy. Like, for example, when I used to have a lot of anxiety and maybe had to go somewhere new, like, driving somewhere new or something, and I would sing in my car and it would shift my state and release like the anxiety that I was feeling. So in 2012, I started an actual mantra meditation practice where I would do it for, at least 40 to 60 days in a row, at least 11 minutes a day. And I personally love using like ancient Hindu or Sikh scriptures or texts because they carry such powerful meaning and significance, and plus they're twinned with music, so it really is like singing meditation for me is like the best of all worlds. Can't really get much better, but certainly you could choose anything as your mantra. You could meditate on a thought or do self-hypnosis. I just think anytime we can incorporate our voice, our sound as well, just adds that benefit to the next level. And obviously, again, the biggest piece to all of this is repetition is key. So it's not about just doing this every once in a while or doing it here and there. It's really about creating a practice that you keep up for, longer than a few days or a week. Like, do it for as long as you can, because from a hypnosis and mind perspective, we do know that repetition is what helps make changes in our subconscious mind. And when we are doing meditation, self-hypnosis, obviously, or singing meditation, we're easily going to go into a trance state, an altered state, and that will help us access our subconscious mind. I personally noticed some huge shifts in myself during this time, and I know that if you try it and keep it up, you will definitely notice shifts as well. Alrighty friends, that was the 5 major things that have helped me, shift out of negativity and seriously warped beliefs I had about myself to gain healing, awareness, confidence, and like an overall positive mindset. And ultimately to be able to embrace joy, which that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. So we'll save that for another video. But thanks for watching and being here. I hope this helped. I'd love to hear, different things that have helped you along your, healing journey or journey of self-discovery. Anything you'd love to share, I'd love to hear it. And I hope you have a great day. Ciao.